You ever get that feeling when you just know something's off? That's exactly how my morning started. I walked out to my driveway, coffee in hand, the sun just starting to rise, and my Jeep was gone. At first, I thought maybe I parked it down the street, or maybe a friend borrowed it and forgot to text. But no, it was gone. Just gone. And sitting right there on my front gate was a cut padlock, the one I had just bought last week. I knew exactly who it was. It wasn't a thief. It wasn't a mistake. It was the HOA. Yeah, them. They'd been on my back for weeks, claiming my Jeep was an eyesore, that it violated some nonsense rule about non-standard vehicles parked in residential driveways. But what they didn't know was that this Jeep wasn't just mine. It belonged to a joint task force, a police unit. And that thing had more government tracking and security tags than a White House van. And now, it was gone. I called the HOA number listed on their last notice. No answer. Just some automated voice telling me to submit a complaint through the website. Helpful, right? So I did what anyone would do. I called dispatch. Within minutes, a patrol car pulled into my driveway. I showed the officer the cut lock, the empty driveway, and the surveillance footage. And man, the look on his face when I told him it was a task force vehicle. Let's just say, he picked up his radio fast. Possible seizure of government property, he said. We're escalating this. About an hour later, we got a location ping from the vehicle's internal tracker. Turns out, the HOA had towed it to some private lot across town without notifying anyone. No paperwork, no permission, just straight-up vigilantism. When we pulled up to the lot, there it was, my Jeep, surrounded by cones, with a boot on the back tire like I was some kind of criminal. An HOA rep was standing there, arms crossed, talking to the tow guy like she owned the place. You know the type? Clipboard, sunglasses, fake smile. I stepped out with the officer beside me, and before I could say a word, she waved her hand and said, "Sir, this area is restricted." The officer raised his badge. "Ma'am, you've just impounded a federal vehicle. You've committed theft and tampering with government property." Her face dropped. I wish I could freeze that moment. She tried to talk her way out of it, said she didn't know, that the vehicle had no special markings, but that wasn't true. The windshield had a government barcode. The tags were restricted use only. And she had cut a lock to get it. They called in backup. She was detained on the spot. And as for the tow guy, let's just say he started sweating bullets once he realized he might lose his license. My Jeep was released on the spot, and the boot was removed faster than it was put on. The officer looked at me and said, "You want to press charges?" I paused. Look, I get it. Some people just love control. They want to enforce power in small places because they don't have any in big ones. But this was way over the line. So yeah, I pressed charges. The HOA Karen was removed from her position 2 weeks later. She's now under investigation for similar complaints from other residents. Apparently mine wasn't the first time she'd gone too far. And me? Well, the Jeep's fine. Still runs like a beast. Got a new lock on my gate. This one's steel reinforced. And the HOA? They haven't said a single word to me since. So if you believe in standing your ground, if you've ever dealt with people who tried to push you off your own path, or if you just love real stories that speak the truth, then this is the place for you. Hit that subscribe button and join us here at QZ Stories, where every story matters and every voice gets